Hello and welcome to the channel. Some state governors, in order to ameliorate the sufferings of their workers, have decided to roll out palliatives of their own. So far, the governors of Kwara, Ogun, and Adamawa states have decided to give civil service workers in their respective states an additional 10,000 naira on top their monthly 30,000 naira minimum wage. But that is not enough to help them, according to these workers, who obviously want more. Subscribe, like, share, and comment. Thank you. Fuel subsidy removal. Palliatives can't cure our pains. Nigerians cry out. Citizens, including lawyers, human rights activists, academics, and artisans, have faulted the palliatives measures put in place by some state governments to bolster the consequence of the removal of fuel subsidy on the people, saying it was a wrong strategy. Some governments announced payment of 10,000 naira monthly for public sector workers, some allowances for medical personnel, and occasional distribution of food to the poor and most vulnerable households, as well as free bus rides for students of tertiary institutions. In their reactions, a number of the residents insisted that it was a rip-off, while others said the federal government should have put in place a proper plan before getting rid of fuel subsidy. Professor Iheshukwu Madubuike, two-time Minister of Education and Health, said that for any palliative option to be meaningful, it should not be selective, but one that will impact everybody. He argued that the effects of fuel subsidy removal is on everybody irrespective of one's social economic status. Hence, nobody should be discriminated against in government palliatives. The effects of fuel subsidy removal are on every citizen, so the government should think of cushioning plans that everybody will benefit from. Professor Madubuike blamed President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for hastily removing fuel subsidies without any ready action plan to cushion the effects of the removal. He said that the savings from the fuel subsidy should be evenly distributed to benefit all citizens irrespective of their class because everybody gets the heat of the subsidy removal. He said that the first step to be taken by the government to cushion the effects of subsidy removal was to crash the cost of governance. He said it was a contradiction for the government to be talking of fuel subsidy removal on the one hand, only to be recklessly increasing the cost of governance on the other hand. Our presidents are behaving like kings and monarchs, but monarchy is gone even in Britain. People oppose it now. The former education minister, who decried the high cost of governance in the country, insisted that only a conscious downscaling of the cost of governance will save Nigeria from imminent insolvency. The former Minister of Health also strongly advocated a shift from consumption to production. He regretted that Nigeria had remained the only oil-producing country without a functional oil refinery, a development, he said, smacks of cluelessness in leadership. We must think differently if we must move forward as a nation. We must start producing something and stop being a consuming nation. Mr. Ayo Fadaka, former Southwest Zonal Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, said, "We have a fundamental economic problem that can only be addressed through a comprehensive action and not tokenism, as currently obtained by state government reactions. The Tinubu administration that exacerbated our economic woes is yet to put on its thinking cap in the midst of this crisis, and that is disappointing. Government at all levels must think deeply and rescue Nigerians from serious economic woes, as failure to do that is simply to plan for a crisis. We are all poor now and rapidly reverting to hitherto unimaginable practices as people now trek kilometers to eke a living. This is not an advancement, but retrogression. Before Tinubu's inauguration, the poor could still get an uninspiring meal for 100 naira. That is no longer possible today because of the accelerating and galloping speed of inflation. The devaluation of the naira clearly indicates that President Tinubu did not come into office prepared to tackle the sloppiness of the Buhari era, but to accentuate same, and this is disappointing when due cognizance is accorded to the education and training of both men. Buhari was a soldier with a questionable O-level result, while Tinubu is a certified accountant with a pedigree. We are suffering in today's Nigeria, and we need help. I just hope that one day soon, social crisis will not erupt and create a dislocation that will be very costly to the nation. Bishop Edem Offiong of the True Worshippers Assembly, Calabar, Cross River State said, "The situation is dire. The church offering has dwindled, attendance has gone down drastically, and the joy of being in the presence of the Lord has disappeared from the faces of many members owing to what they are going through. In spite of the low offering, after service, many members line up to see me, and from what we have collected, we share to them. Therefore, how can you see people dying and you keep money for programs or development of the church? We have to give out. The palliatives talk is just trying to take the mind of Nigerians away from the real issues they are going through. Very soon, you will see people dying of hunger, diseases, and abject needs. Perhaps this government is bent on placating its creditors in International Monetary Fund, the European Union, and China, who are insisting on reduction of the country's population to get more loans. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and please turn the notification bell on. Thank you. A professor of political science at the University of Calabar, Ntimasu Osopong, submitted that provision of palliatives to cushion the effect of subsidy removal is just a joke. 90% of Nigerians feel the pain of what is going on in the country. So who do you palliate and who do you leave out? How can 10,000 naira or 8,000 naira meet the needs of an average Nigerian? Those talking about palliatives to cushion the effects of what we are facing are just not serious yet. As a professor, I live at 8 miles in the outskirts of Calabar, and each day I come here, University of Calabar, I buy 10,000 naira fuel, which cannot bring me here the next day. My salary is less than 500,000. If I take taxi, I pay 3,000 naira back and forth. Moreover, at my status, I cannot ask students to give me money, and yet my needs are mounting. Some junior lecturers earn far less, yet they have families and other needs. Therefore, the whole thing is just funny. That's the news, guys. Thanks for listening. Until next time, bye.